Hey everybody, welcome to the 97 and Up program. This is your welcome video. I'm going to give you a quick tour and walkthrough of everything that the program has to offer. My main goal is making sure you know exactly where to go to access all the resources you need. There are many resources in this program that it's important you be aware of, but there are a couple that I want to make sure you have access to right up front. And then once you do, it's very easy to get answers to questions if you have any kind of struggle finding what you're looking for. So let's go to my screen and we'll take a look at what I'm talking about. So if you have signed up, then by now you're hopefully looking at what's on my screen here, which is the course that you have access to, which encompasses the entire program that is 97 and Up. You'll see on the left, we've got navigation here, everything organized into different major categories. There's the core sort of course that comes with 97 and Up that was written for 97 and Up. As you can see, you can click to expand and get access to the details, and then click again to collapse things to keep things nice and neatly tucked away. But before you get into any of what's here on the left, it's really important that you go through what's here on the dashboard, especially to get access to the homepage that I've built for 97 and Up, which is done in Notion. And that kind of gives you a high-level view of everything that you have access to. And also, most importantly, joining the Slack group. Now, you should have gotten an email with an autoresponder explaining all this, as well as having links to everything. But just in case, I include it right here in the course, because some of you I know don't read the emails. And instead, you'll just click right through. I would do the same thing, to be honest, is I would ignore the emails and say, I know what I need to do. Click in, log in, and access the program right here on the website, which is why I've got this dashboard as kind of a backup plan for those of you who don't read the emails. And I've given you the layout here, everything you ever need to access, right? There's a lot of redundancies here because, again, I know people don't necessarily read and we're all going too fast. So I try and kind of catch you at every different stop where you might stop and wonder, you know, where is this? How do I get access to this Slack community they're talking about, right? So you're going to see a lot of the same things. In fact, if you miss this homepage reference, which has the call schedules over here, I know this is something that you'll be looking for specifically because I've gotten those requests and questions from people, is here's where you can check the upcoming call schedule. You'll figure out pretty quickly. It takes you to the same place, right? So I can click on this. And it takes me into Notion. Now this may look a little different for me because I own the page. You're going to be looking at the sort of viewers only version, but it's got everything you need. As you can see, the 2024 calendar, all the lessons. When you see the URL in these cards, that means that that's the link that takes you back into the website where the replay is. So why do I do this when you can just go into the site? Well, the truth is we've only just recently updated it to where it has this kind of organized navigation, like here's 2024. But I also know that many of you are referencing things based purely on a timeline. And so the calendar, I find, is very useful and helpful to everyone. So yes, there's a lot of redundancies here, but it's all designed to make it easy for you to find what you're looking for, no matter how you might be going about looking for it, right? But the most important thing probably out of any of this, if you miss everything else I've talked about so far in this short video, what I do want you to catch is how important it is to join that Slack workspace, right? So back over here, you click this link and it will take you in. If you don't already have an account in our Slack workspace, it will invite you to create one and you can get signed up and get into Slack. Now, why is this so much more important than everything else? Because once you're in Slack, you're in the exact place you need to be in order to ask questions of me or anyone else in the program to get answers. So bottom line, you should never spend a minute struggling to find anything in this program because, as I've mentioned, and as you can start to see, I have a lot of resources that I've accumulated here over quite a few years since we started this program. And so if you find yourself struggling for even a minute, if you find you're getting that even slightest feeling of kind of like fight or flight, like, oh God, this is stressful, I can't find something, it should be easy to find, stop what you're doing, get into Slack, use the general channel and say, hey, I'm looking for such and such, can somebody help me out? Almost guaranteed before I can even get you the answer, somebody else will. But obviously, bottom line, I'll get back to you, usually very quickly, with an answer and probably a link to exactly where you need to go. And I promise nobody's ever going to judge you for asking a question, no matter how dumb you might think it is. That's not part of our culture here in 97 and Up. We never judge people. We don't come down on people for asking questions. We all understand better than most, maybe, how busy we all are and how easy it is to miss something that might seem obvious in retrospect. But when you're kind of stressed out because you need a resource, because you're trying to figure something out, I get it. So I promise you, no judgment. Ask your questions. Don't ever be ashamed to ask anything. Again, no matter how dumb you might think it is, there's no such thing in our world. So once you've got the lay of the land and you're in Slack and you kind of start to feel your way around with everything that's here, bookmark this homepage, because this is really where at the top level, here's the meeting information. Right? So here's where you access, and I share this every week in Slack before each of the 2 calls. I copy and paste this right into Slack so that you don't have to look far. So again, as long as you're engaged in Slack, then you'll see in the general channel, usually 15 minutes or so before the meeting, I'll post this as a reminder, as well as a reminder about what today's call is going to be all about. This link here, if you're not already logged into the website, or if you're already logged in but it's just not open, this link takes you right into the 97 program. It takes you right here to the dashboard. Okay. And over here, you can click this to get to a suggestion box. So if you have a topic you'd like to see us cover, and especially if you've looked around a bit and you don't see it, that it looks like we've covered it in any of the recent calls, then you fill out this information, and this is where you let me know, hey, I would love to have a call on this topic. And it's only very rarely that I've declined such a request, and if I have, it's only because either I don't have the experience to share it, and I don't know of anybody who does, or it's something we've recently covered, at which point I'll say, hey, we actually just did a call about this 2 weeks ago. Here's the link. So bottom line, if you don't find something that you're looking for and you think you'd like us to do a call on it, make the suggestion here using the suggestion box. Again, the Slack login, in case you forgot and you have access to this page, click this. It'll take you right into Slack. And this I'm probably going to move out of here soon. This is something that was very active in 2023, our book club. We haven't done any of those calls in a while. They were fun. I'll leave the resource available, but it's just not something we're actively doing anymore. But as long as it's here, click on it and you can browse through it. It's basically a bunch of calls we did where we didn't necessarily focus on one particular book, but everybody kind of gave feedback on the books that they're reading at the time, and some highlights and tips and tricks out of those books. So I listed each of the books here that were discussed in the several different meetings we did on this, and just gave you the basic information. You can click, for example, on Think and Grow Rich, open it up, and here's some general notes and notes about the introduction and chapter 2 and so on. So it's there, but like I said, it's not really that active anymore. So you may or may not find it useful. Here I am back on my internal page for 97 and up, and here we are back on the home page. So this home page, by the way, is also linked in Slack. It's pinned in the general Slack channel. But bottom line, if you find yourself looking for it and you can't remember where to go, just ask. Again, nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to get mad at you. Bottom line is, 97 and Up is a resource built for you to find answers to the things you need quickly, without fear of judgment, and without having to stress out about it. My goal is to take your stress away. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of this resource that I've created for you. And please, 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 I can't stress enough how important it is to not hesitate asking your questions in Slack. If you can't find a particular channel for the question you have, just post it in the general channel. If there's an applicable channel, I will redirect you there. I will just politely post a comment saying, hey, we have a great channel for this, and I'll link you to the channel. And if it's something we don't have a channel for, that it seems like it's important, then I'll add the channel and let you know that I've done that. So either way, I'm always open to your feedback and suggestions, but most importantly, I don't want you to ever struggle or stress out. Just ask your questions in Slack. I promise you, you will find that that is the best way to get help and navigate through this program without any stress or frustration. So I'll see you in Slack with any questions you have. I hope this helps you get a start finding your way around, and I look forward to seeing you on the calls.